Hey guys, happy Tuesday. Welcome to another edition of Training Tip Tuesday with me, Coach Coral from Team Babe Athletics. So excited that March is here. We are going to be kicking off a Back to Basics series. I know last month in February we focused on training basics. This month we're going to be taking a look at each of the disciplines by itself. Hey Amy, happy Tuesday, happy Training Tip Tuesday. So like I was saying, in March, kind of in our back to basics theme, we're going to be taking a look, instead of like we did in February at training basics, in this month we're going to be taking a look at each discipline by itself. And so this week we are going naturally and into my favorite discipline, the swim. So before we get into some swim basics, you're going to hear my top 3 tips for swimmers and how you can be a better swimmer. Want to do a couple quick shout outs. First of all, an announcement. Very, very cool announcement. So excited. And this shout out is kind of in line with that. So shout out first goes out to our St. Anthony's training group. We've got just an incredible group of ladies that are training both. We've got some training for the sprint, some for the Olympic. For St. Anthony's Sprint Olympic distance here in St. Petersburg, it's going to be at the end of April. If you haven't yet signed up for St. A's and you are local or looking for a really fun destination race in April, we are so excited. We are so excited that we are going to be partnering locally with an amazing organization, nonprofit called Girls on the Run. And they have a local chapter here in the Tampa Bay area. So Girls on the Run, Greater Tampa Bay, and Team Babe Athletics are partnering to offer a few soulmates slots. So essentially you are dedicating your race to helping girls live stronger, healthy, just super amazing lives. Girls on the Run is active in schools in Pinellas and Hillsborough County, and they just do incredible work. Highly recommend checking out their programming. But if you are interested in racing on behalf of Girls on the Run at St. Anthony's for free, super cool. You get a bunch of training support from the team, lots of really cool training opportunities. It's just, I'm really excited. So, but if you're interested, you can be a guy or a gal. Please let me know. Just either comment in the in the comment section, or you can send me a PM, Coral Owen, and we'll get you hooked up with the Girls on the Run team for all of that awesomeness. So super stoked, though. Super stoked. All right. Sorry, I just get so distracted when we've got so many amazing things going on. Second shout out, to wrap that out real quick, goes to one of our coach athletes, Carolyn, and we actually do have a Team Mob, Men of Babe, so one of our mobsters, also Adam. They both raced the Skyway 10K, which is a really cool race over the Skyway Bridge. So Carolyn and Adam, congratulations, and you guys just rocked it. Really great race for a really great cause. Also, if you're looking for a neat race next year. All right, let's get down to business. Sorry, Cynthia, yes, I will send you more information, and then Amy, yeah, I'm pretty sure that you can, but let's chat. Super excited that you guys are interested in the Soulmates program. All right, so let's get down to business. Top 3 tips for being a better swimmer, and these are foundational, but they also are applicable to swimmers of every level. So especially with swimming, you can never ever stray too far down the line without revisiting your basics, because these are so integral and so important for becoming and developing as a swimmer, but also just maintaining your swim. Because, you know, I know some of us take to the water a bit more naturally, but we spend so much of our time on the land that, you know, to go even just a few days, I know that sounds a bit crazy, but just even if you are going a few days without being in the water, you can kind of lose your touch. So I always like to encourage swimmers to revisit basics. So without further ado, here we go. So tip number 1, and basic foundational piece number one is that swimming is really so integrated with your breath. If you're not thinking about your breathing, well, I know that sounds a little bit funny to something you've done since day one of being on Earth, but breathing is so integral for having a calm, efficient, and smooth swim stroke. So if when you're getting in the water, your breath kind of starts to go rapid, the first thing that I always encourage swimmers to do is just focus on slowing your breathing rate down. And even when you're, getting in the pool for a swim session, just focus on a nice calm breath. So when in doubt, always revisit your breath. And a couple more notes about this is that you don't need to breathe in the entire atmosphere when you're swimming. You just need what I call is a bite-sized belly breath. So, rather than breathing from up here, breathing a little bit lower down your core. Okay, that's a calm breath. And that's going to be just enough air to get you those next 2, 3, 4 strokes until you have the opportunity to take your other breath. All right, and then breathing rhythmically, rather than just breathing till you're gasping for air, have a set strategy for when and how frequently you breathe. Okay, so for some swimmers, this may be every 3 strokes, more bilateral. For other swimmers, it may be every 4, every 2. Really just depends on you. Once you get beyond that 4 stroke, it tends to put you more into a hypoxic or not as calm breathing. But again, swimming is so individual. But if you're just getting started to try and figure out what works best for you, really just experiment. 2, 3, 4. Sometimes it's a mix of each. And you can also play around with different breathing patterns throughout your swim workouts. So, okay, I could talk about this forever. So just put a nice bow on that. Breathing is your biggest basic. Definitely revisit it. And if you are having kind of anxiety, I would definitely start with finding a calm breathing strategy that works for you to help you stay calm and stay smooth. All right, basic number 2. Go slow to go fast. And you'll hear this a lot throughout triathlon training. And within the context of swimming, it really refers to slowing down your stroke to be able to focus on your technique so you're not just thrashing through the water, but slowing down enough that you can be conscientious about how you're swimming and your form. And this is actually pretty tricky to be cognizant of where you're placing your body in the water and how you're moving through the water. So I would always recommend, if you have the opportunity to have a certified coach or a qualified master's coach, somebody who's really experienced, a friend who's been in triathlon for a while, just having someone like a second set of eyes outside the water, somebody that can take a look at your stroke and give you feedback. Also, having some underwater videography of your stroke is really helpful for kind of figuring out where you're at. But suffice it to say that, when you're able to slow down and be intentional, if you can swim smoothly at a slow pace, when you try to go faster, you're going to have a lot more success maintaining a smooth stroke at a faster speed. So go slow to go fast. All right, and then basic number 3 is definitely tied in with number 2, and that is you want to focus on efficiency and technique. So swimming, its science is at least 85.7% technique. That's not a science statistic, but really what I want to get at is that being efficient and focusing on technique is going to get you the time spent focusing on technique and your efficiency in the water, your return on investment is going to be much, much higher if you just, with kind of a sloppy stroke, get in the water and just start cranking out intervals. So if you are focusing on the next best improvement, that will get you the biggest margin of gains in your stroke. Okay, so if you're swimming crooked, you want to focus on swimming straighter. That is going to be your biggest gain, for instance. Okay, and this is also where having someone that can take a look at your stroke and help you break things down into those building blocks that will progress you along is really, really helpful. So I always recommend that swimmers that are kind of, you're kind of either getting started, you're starting to hit a plateau in your speed and adding volume is not helping. This is where you want to go back and revisit, what are you doing with your stroke? And sometimes it happens that, the farther we get away from these basics, sometimes the stroke tends to break down a little bit. So like I said, if you're kind of plateauing out, definitely revisit and tighten up your stroke a little bit. I'm sure you will see this pay dividends. And certainly if you are in the St. Pete Clearwater area, definitely give us a shout if you are needing some help in these areas. Swimming is my first love and my biggest passion within the sport of triathlon. Always love helping swimmers kind of dissect their stroke and figure out what is going to help you be faster, but also just have the most enjoyable experience possible in the water and open water too. That's my jam. All right, so thank you guys so much. We got a really good audience this evening, so thank you guys so much for tuning in. Always love hearing what you're looking for information about. So if this has been helpful, definitely pass it along to someone who may be interested. Give us a shout if we can be of help, and have a kick-ass week. We'll see you next Tuesday.